our heart rate for 1 minute to see how many times we breathe out, and we'll count those in 1 minute, and we'll put that on the chart. Second will be just jumping or marching for 1 minute. Let's march for our second one. We'll march with our knees high. Then the third activity will be running in place, and we'll do that for 1 minute. And so what we'll do is we'll measure how fast or how slow we breathe in and out. Right? So with your partners, James, make sure you're working with Shelley, and with our partners, then we will be going ahead and doing that investigation. We're going to be thinking about how we use air and how often we need oxygen in our bodies. So go ahead and start that right now. First thing comes from with our respiration, measuring with our heart rate, we noticed how we really had a different heart rate when we were doing different things. As we're here, and we're just breathing in, our nose and our mouth, we breathe in our oxygen, and it comes down our trachea, comes into our lungs, where the trachea divides into different branches, and those branches get smaller and smaller, and they end in air sacs. And the air sacs are surrounded by tiny little capillaries